Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we're going to talk about how to set up and get ready for your first battle in Dragon Eclipse. If you're not familiar with Dragon Eclipse, it is a kind of an adventure scenario-based game that has periods of exploration and narrative elements to it, but then it also has these battles which are meant to simulate almost a TCG. So think Pokemon in a way. You have your dragons or your creatures, and you're going to have cards for them, and then you're going to be facing off against opponents. And this is a cooperative game, so the whoever you're battling against is always against the AI, but there are ways to play this game PvP, so you can set up your creature and play head-to-head against someone. But the scenario adventure kind of exploration based elements are very straightforward. You flip to a page in the book, you have a certain number of actions you can take, you choose which passages you want to read, and you move on from there. The battles is where the game is meant to really shine. And so your first battle is actually introduced to you in this Start Here booklet. Start Here booklet does an excellent job of not only helping you unpack the box, it then covers basic rules for you. Kind of covers you what do cards do, what do tests like this, how do you do a test, and here's exploring locations on the map, and then you finally get to here and it says first combat. All right, and this is again the half the game is going to be combat, so this is very important that we get this correct. Unfortunately, the Start Here guide was not as intuitive as I would have liked, so I'm hoping that this video can help people in the future who may get stuck like I did and take a long time setting up your first battle. So first thing you're going to have to do at this point is choose who your first little dragon is going to be. I chose the young Emberling versus the ice dragon, the young Iceling. So I went and found all of the young Emberling cards. If you set the box up properly, they're in alphabetical order, but young sits in front of Emberling. So you'll see Emberling and then young Emberling, and you won't find them back in the Ys. I guess you could put them back there, but you're going to pick up all the cards for young Emberling. So that's going to be cards here that show your statistics, a special ability, and you're also going to pull out a deck of action cards that are specific to your Emberling. You're also going to find a set of starter action cards. These are ones that you can see all out here in front of me, and they have a little S up in their corner, and you're going to find these behind the unlocked cards divider. So if you set up the box according to Start Here, that's where you find these. There's not a divider that says starter cards. Does not state that in the Start Here book. So it took me a little while to figure out where are my starter cards. So hopefully you've got that. You're also going to grab the arena cards here, which are double-sided. So make sure you're looking at the right side, because one side is PvP. It's going to tell you to find 35. So as long as you pick up the stack and they're facing the correct way, you should see the numbers at the top. You find 35 and you set it down here. But again, this one, they say find the arena card. That one's easier to find, but I did pick them up, I think, at first and be like, PvP, that's not what I want. I want the cobbled square card. So there is that one. You're also going to find your opponent. Your opponent, in this case, is going to be the Frightened Windraiser. Again, if you set up your deck according to the Start Here booklet, then your Frightened Windraiser cards should be at the beginning of the other Windraiser cards. And you only need two, the first two, and they're both going to say Frightened Windraiser on them. You're going to use the same miniature, which again is not completely obvious that this was the Frightened Windraiser, but there we go. I'll give you another good look at it there. That's the one we pulled out. So it's going to go on this one space. I'm going to go on the two space. We also want to make sure that we are picking out the map that is not meant for two players. So this is map 2. Your first battle takes place on map 2. But the other side of this looks almost identical, but there's some slight changes, and it has a little like Meeple almost, little bust of a person here with a little 2 in it to signify that's for the 2 players. You're also going to need to find the boss action cards. Now these are, they don't have any text on them. They're very simple. And simply what you're doing here is you're going to look at the symbol and then you're going to look at the boss's card, and that's what's going to activate. So every character you fight against in the game, as far as AI is concerned, use these same ones that look like this. They are miniature. So they're going to be tucked in amongst your mini Euro size cards, which you don't organize during the start here section. I don't know why. They only give you 2 dividers, and they tell you just stick them at the end and not worry about it. So you're going to have to dig for these in your small set of cards. They're going to look like this on the back, and then you're going to pull out these specifically. Since it's a tutorial, they're going to tell you to seed them that way and place them face up. So we know what's coming, I guess. It's also going to ask you to find one of these tokens, which in the image in the instruction manual, it has it on this side, and it blends in really well. And I was like, what token are we even talking about here? I had to, like, you know, bring the Start Here booklet. I'll show you actually real quick what picture I'm referencing here. So it does say 6, and it says 6 somewhere on here. Place the special ability token here on 3, but I'm like, I don't even have that, simply because they were all like this in my box. They're actually like that. I hadn't punched out the middle yet. And I was like, I don't even see a token in my box that looks like that. Well, just flip it over. I don't know why you would use the black side. I'm going to use this side because I can see it a lot better. So there's that token. It sits on 3. Then it's also, when you're setting up your Emberling, I kind of jumped past this, but it's going to tell you to find the trade card for the Emberling you didn't pick. All right, or the young dragon hatchling that you didn't pick. In this case, I picked the Emberling, so the Iceling, its trait card, which, again, it was not very clear where to find this card, or even that it was small. The tier card is going to be one of your small cards. It's going to be tucked in that giant stack of small cards, and it's actually going to go behind one of the 2 few dividers that you get for the mini Euro size cards. I'm going to stick that one back in the box there. There's going to be 1 card that you're going to leave in your Mistling. What did they even call this thing? This is another thing that wasn't super clear. Because again, let's find the picture of where it told you. Oh, it's in the big book. But they show something that looks much more akin to a deck box. And then there's this thing. But pretty sure this is your little Mistling crate or deck box or whatever it's called. Last but not least is your encyclopedia. Now, if you have the standard version, your encyclopedia is going to be behind a certain divider in with the rest of the cards. But if you backed the deluxe version, you're going to have this little binder right here, which is your encyclopedia. And if you set it up correctly, you'll notice that there was little page numbers here. So I know I have them in the right order because I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. But the numbers here don't make sense. 4, 3, 9, 8. And there is no true instructions about how to drop your cards in here, but it tells you to put your these 2 cards into your your dragon character encyclopedia. And so I found slots 65 and 64, and I put my 65A and 64B just because it's got the text. I think the other side is for AI purposes, but I tucked those in there. I did not just drop them in the first 2 slots, which is what I thought about doing at first. I went and found these 2 spots to stick them in. So that is now going to get us to the point where we have set up our first battle. These little tokens, these are pretty straightforward. You're going to get these. They're going to be acrylic if you have the special edition. These make sense. They're part of the setup, which is on here. So your special ability 3, that's this token. Your enemy deck is comprised of these cards, which it is, and then the tutorial told me to set it that way, and then it says place a tornado on each of these spaces here. Now this could be anything. This could be water in a different scenario for a different creature, but in black it means it's for the AI. If it was for me, it'd be on the white side. And that's it. I think I covered everything, but hopefully just letting you guys know where all of this stuff was found. These 2 cards, these were not with my young Emberling. They were with if you follow the setup rules, they are going to be with your kind of wound cards, or what were they called? Fatigue cards. This is one just player aid card, and then an element card matching your young dragon. So in this case, I have the fire one versus the ice one. I think that's it. I covered everything. Hopefully you can now find all this stuff quicker than it took me to find all this stuff. I was like having to flip into the rule book and be like, what's a special ability token? What's a trait card? Where do I find the trait cards? Because I was looking through the young Iceling big card deck. Could not find them for the life of me. That was one of the hardest things that it took me to figure out. Anyways, hopefully this is helpful. Again, this is just to help you get set up for the battle. The battle itself is very straightforward. They walk you through it step by step. You don't need me to show you that on film. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And hopefully this will lead you to a quick tutorial. Thanks for watching.